It was 9 o'clock at night. I live in these old apartments that have a nearby laundry that's not really far from where I live at. It's a quiet neighborhood, so I like the peace and the quiet. I got my dirty clothes and the quarters and walked to the laundry. The thing about this laundry is that you need a key to get in, and that's first given when you move into the apartments. I got there and unlocked the door with the key. The laundry only has 3 washers and 2 dryers, so I couldn't wash because all the washers were taken, so I had to wait. I went back to my apartment and waited 20 minutes. It only takes 15 minutes for a washer to wash clothes, so I knew the washers were done. I walked to the laundry and unlocked the door. I then realized that the washers were done, but there were no clothes in the dryer. I took a quick glance in the washers just to make sure if it was empty or if there were still clothes in it, and of course, there were. Me being dumb enough, I didn't take a good look to check what was actually in there. I waited 10 minutes in the laundry just to see if the person would show up and at least put their clothes in the dryer, and after waiting, no one showed up. I went to the washers and tried to take out the person's clothes because I was tired of waiting. At that moment, when I was going to do that, I realized that there was a paper on all 3 washers saying, "Do not open." At first, I thought I was losing it because I swear I didn't see them when I went to check if the washer still had clothes in them when I first went into the laundry. At that moment, I was scared because I knew someone had to be in there with me. There's only one entrance door and one window that cannot be opened. So, I was sure someone couldn't come in, or at least on my watch. I still managed to search around the laundry and I didn't see anyone. I was completely freaking out, so I told myself I would come back first thing in the morning. The next day, I went to the laundry and noticed there were still clothes in the washers. I had known it was the same clothes because it still had the papers that read, "Do not open." Now I was just mad and curious, so I needed to see what was actually in there. And right when I was going to open one of the washers, there was a knock on the window. I can honestly say that it scared the heck out of me, and I quickly turned around just to see nobody there. It was in the morning, so I wasn't really that nervous to check around. I looked out the window to see if anyone was messing with me or at least hiding, but I didn't see anyone. I went back and tried to open the washers a second time, and while I tried to do that, one of the dryers behind me just popped open. I turned around real quick and I didn't see anyone. I then quickly grabbed my clothes and ran the hell out of that place. I went to my apartment thinking how that was possible. After thinking about it for 2 hours straight, I decided to report it to the manager to the apartments. I told her about everything that had happened from the night to the morning. I was talking on the phone with her because she wasn't at her apartment. Lucky for me. She then asked me, "Haven't you realized why nobody washes there?" I have thought about it, but I responded saying no. She responded saying just a simple "never mind," and then hung up. I was so confused. After the whole day staying inside, I decided to go to my mom's house like around 10 o'clock at night. I went outside and realized from the corner of my eye that the light switch was flickering from inside the laundry. I just stood there looking directly at the window. I then got a feeling that someone was walking from up behind me. I quickly turned around and there was no one. I turned back around and looked at the window from the laundry and noticed some girl standing behind the window just looking at me. I didn't see her face or her eyes. but I just knew she was staring at me. I walked to my car as fast as I could, trying to ignore the girl, and I drove off. Maybe 5 minutes later, still driving, I had noticed my apartment manager standing on the sidewalk. She wasn't walking, she was just standing. I thought it was kind of weird, so I stopped and asked her if she was okay. She responded saying yes, and then she said, "Were you?" I looked at her confused, and then realizing what she meant, but I pretended I didn't know because I didn't want her to think that I knew. So I just told her, "What do you mean?" She then said with a smile on her face, "The girl from the laundry." At that moment, I can honestly say I was so scared. I was shaking. I came up with something random in my head and told her I just remembered that I was in a hurry and I needed to go to a place ASAP. And her response was, "The girl doesn't like excuses." After hearing that, I completely floored it and left. When I got to my mom's place, I kept getting calls from the manager. Of course, I was completely ignoring them. She then sent me a message that read, "Come back." I blocked the number and told my mom about everything. My mom then told me to get my clothes the next day and get all my expensive stuff and moved into her place. I agreed to that idea. The next day I got everything and left without a single word to the manager. After that, everything had been going fine. Until I wanted to shut off my phone because I got a text from a random number saying, "Come back." After I got this message, I then completely changed my phone number. 3 months and going, I haven't heard or seen anything about the manager, the girl, or the laundry, or at least yet. But what I still want to know is, what was really in those washers?